Philosophers have said that there are only 7 stories we keep repeating throughout history. Tonight, we're gonna pick one and tell it again. This is The Treatment, a podcast about stories, with your hosts Billy Beck, Cody Beck, and Mark Lucas. The Treatment is filmed despite a large studio audience.
And that large studio audience will not stop playing loud guitar in the building next door. So you may hear some music in the background, and it's their fault for playing too loud if their shit gets leaked.
I'm trying to make a joke about how there's the podcast you complain about all the time, the ESPN one.
When like Disney owns a podcast that sometimes only comes out the left ear. Yeah. Speaking of podcasts, Mark, do you have any reviews of our last Endeavor Con guy?
I do. I normally like holding up the image that this is a professional operation. But I just have to. What is the thread between speaking of podcasts and a newspaper review of our previous movie?
Well, the previous movie was born on an episode of a podcast. I think there's a thread there.
So this review comes from the Los Angeles Times. As ambitious, honest, and subversive as any American movie since Election. 10 out of 10 from the LA Times.
I love that review, but technically because of the funding, that was a British movie we made. But I won't get into finances here.
Why are you this way?
How about we get into the circle? What's on the circle of stories today, Bill?
The old circle of stories we have on there. In Real Time, Ichabod Crane, Iliad, Snow Queen, The Fisherman and His Wife, Handful of Spiders, Dracula, Villain Origin Story, and Screen Life. Villain Origin Story.
Oh, the newest one that got put on the wheel. I feel like the wheel has recency bias.
It's not the newest.
Okay. Oh, you're right. Whatever Mark put on after Brave Little Taylor. So, Villain Origin Story is my suggestion for the wheel. And the idea that I had is something that I've touched on our other podcast, which is that we as a society have kind of shifted into this telling the evil backstory of how a villain got started. And we've even kind of touched on that in our Goliath episode. I don't necessarily have a specific villain in mind. I think it would be fun to tell a story, and I think the question we would need to ask is this an existing villain that we are making sympathetic? Or is this a new villain that we're exploring their origin into a monster?
Are we making Wicked or Megamind?
Exactly. Also, Megamind, another great example of this genre.
Yeah. I want to say, for the sake of the podcast, I guess? I don't know. But I want to say, let's try and do something original.
Okay.
Just because, Wizard of Oz might end up on the wheel in the future. And we don't want to throw remaking Wicked under the bus this early, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, do either of you have a story that you really like that has kind of a basic villain that we could flesh out? It could be something from history, it could be...
Throwing out a bad thought, the first thing that came to my mind when you said, villain origin story was Titanic.
Is the ship the villain?
No, Rose is.
No, duh, ice. Picture it. A big block of ice just floating, minding its own business in the North Atlantic.
Very avant-garde.
Now, Mark, I can cut this if you want to, just let me know. But back in college, we used to float a movie around about a civil rights leader.
Ah, God. You don't have to cut it. But no, I don't think now is the time for us to make a Fred Phelps biopic.
Probably not.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that was an old lunch in college conversation. What if we made a movie? And the reveal is that he's Fred Phelps, and if he becomes the Westboro Baptist guy,
relatively progressive up until you get to...
Yeah, and then he goes off the fucking deep end.
So another...
I agree not making it, I just thought it'd be funny to bring up, Mark.
Another, theme that usually happens in these is that the villain whose origin we're revisiting tends to be a woman. I'm thinking kind of the reclaiming of Medusa, the reclaiming of Medea, kind of like women who do things that appear monstrous, and it's kind of explaining from their point of view how they got there.
I do think that it is good reclaiming the villain that was Medea, because I remember when Medea went to prison.
Mark, you've never seen a movie. You extra
No, I
haven't
haven't,
seen that
but I
one.
know Medea goes to prison. So I think to help narrow down our thinking a little bit, we should at least decide what specific kind of villain we're talking about.
Like genre?
Superhero or like fairy tale.
I had a thought that might help decide the kind of villain we want to talk about. And it's something that I like when it happens in movies, when a character towards the end, like beginning of the third act, has to make a choice. And like there's like the fork in the road, metaphorically, and they choose, like, generally the character chooses the path towards good or the moral path, and that's, you know, the arc. And I would want to see a character take the immoral path, the dark path.
Okay.
Similar, like The Godfather.
Okay.
And like our character, the film leads to a fracture point where the character makes the wrong choice, and then deals with the consequences of that in the worst of ways, and that is probably doubling down and becoming the villain.
So this is another one where it's a Mark idea that I'm it's a Mark idea that's a bad idea that I'm spitting out. No offense, Mark.
How am I supposed to not take offense at that? I mean, I don't, but like...
There's an internet post, I think it's a Tumblr post, and it's basically like, you're a farmer who happens to live next to a mine, and all these people keep showing up, and they keep fucking up your farm because they're trying to go into this mine and clear out this monster that lives there or whatever. Well, you get annoyed and you start taking out the people that start taking out the mine. And you're slowly collecting all of these, like, expensive items and, like, slowly getting better weapons, and now you build a wall and it stops people from getting in, and then they start breaching the wall, so you have to build a moat, and then you have to build another wall, and then you realize that you eventually built a dungeon, and you are now the master of this dungeon.
I think there's something there, like that kind of... It's not quite the decision thing, it's like a slow build.
Yeah.
Another potential genre thing just to consider, like Great Depression, Dust Bowl, Bonnie and Clyde type folk heroes.
There's an idea. Because I was thinking I want to stay away from, like, real-world historical figures.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to, like, I don't know, glorify history's greatest monsters.
Jimmy Carter.
But something like that, something like The Bride or Bonnie and Clyde or Thelma and Louise, where we see our character as they are as people, and just the circumstances that drive them to making the decisions that make them villains in society.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of Dust Bowl.
And we can go a couple ways with that. If we go Dust Bowl, we can go person turning on their neighbors to feed their family.
If we're doing Dust Bowl, they're going after bankers.
Well, I'm thinking we're going villain, right?
Yeah.
Who is more villainous than someone who sides with the bankers?
Oh, no. I was thinking, like, everyone claims
just
them
remake
to be
the Grapes
villain.
of Wrath.
I was more thinking Hell or High Water, but in the Dust Bowl.
Okay.
But, like, if bankers are getting robbed, especially when they control all the media, unlike now where they just control most of it, keep independent podcasts alive. Support your independent podcaster.
Ko-fi.com/SoonMajorPod.
There it is. Like, similar to Wicked, there's propaganda and all this stuff when it's really just, we're just trying to save the farm, like that kind of thing. And that misunderstood, because this came out of our talk on Wicked.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking that misunderstood enemy of the state type of villain.
Yeah.
In a historical context.
So a little John Dillinger, but not exactly.
It's like modern Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe that's where we go, where they start fucking with bankers to do mutual aid in the community to keep suffering farmers afloat without having to Grapes of Wrath it over to California.
So are we doing explicitly Dust Bowl, or are we doing Dust Bowl like conditions in fantasy realm?
I wouldn't say fantasy,
Oh, sorry, I don't mean fantasy TM. I mean, like, is this legitimately 1920s America?
It takes place in the country of Eagle Land.
Yeah, something like that, where it's like, not literally America, but it's literally America.
It's like where it's never explicitly stated time or place.
Yeah.
Keep it ambiguous, but
Mm-hmm.
so like aesthetically, Interstellar, the beginning of Interstellar.
Kinda, yeah.
Like there's some modern stuff, but also no internet presence or anything like that.
Yeah. No internet, no tech.
No one sees what year it is. It's just
Yeah.
grass ain't growing no more.
Yes.
They're weed farmers struggling. It's a stoner comedy.
I'm gonna get water, and I'm going to spray bottle you.
All right. So you guys can throw out your bad ideas. But when I throw out make it a stoner comedy, I'm the one who gets spray bottled.
Yes. We gotta make sure you don't blaze.
For the record, I would be down with specifically making a villain origin stoner comedy, but right now is not the time we're going to do that.
Okay.
Put a pin in that one, put it back on the circle.
Stoner comedy will happen at some point in the future. And I will make sure I am completely sober on that recording.
I think they can hear the winking.
Okay, good.
I think you got it.
Good.
So, backing up a few steps, I think I would rather it be, like, less modern and more Dust Bowl-ish in a vague America-like, but not specifically America.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, nobody has a flip phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe we can even get some of them old-timey cars and signs that look like but are legally distinct from Coke signs.
So like 30s aesthetically, but not full.
Not.
Okay.
We're not just gonna say this is Tennessee.
Loose 30s farmland.
Yeah.
All right.
Like every Disney movie, we are taking inspiration, but not specifically saying we are in France.
Yes. They're just speaking in French.
Ooh, yeah, let's set it in Dust Bowl, France.
You're the only one that will understand it, Mark. We don't speak French.
It takes place in the same universe as the Joan of Arc episode. You see early 1930s European football teams practicing in the cornfields of Dust Bowl, France.
Instead of tumbleweeds, they're empty snail shells.
We have a panning shot where you just see like construction of the Eiffel Tower. And that's all you see.
Oh no, the tower is there, but it's like drooping. Okay, back to business. Lock in.
Alright.
So, is this a 5-act structure?
What would you say would be the 5 acts there? Because I haven't thought about that yet.
So
I was defaulting to 3, but...
Well, yeah, everybody defaults to 3.
So, you got exposition and status quo introducing all the players in Act 1. Act 2 is the shit starts. Act 3 is the turning point, but I don't mean the climax. Because the climax is 4, because that's the emotional decision to be a villain, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then 5 is the resolution.
Well, I don't know, because now that like it's starting to come together a little bit more, we have a setting and stuff, I'm not married to having that specific turning point, that choice moment. I'm okay with it being more of a slow build as well, and going that route. I think we could do it in like 3 acts.
Okay.
Intro to the characters and shit starts. Second act is reaction through towards climax, and then third act is climax resolution.
So and of course, you know, this is to quote the American philosopher Ned Flanders, in Canada the whole thing's flip-flopped. So this is all Canadian. Our hero is the villain, our villain is the hero, remember that. So I think our villain is a regular guy.
Yeah, I was going to say a farmer or a farmer's son.
And the villain in our story, who's considered a hero, but is our villain, who or what is he? And my first thought is, he is a senator with a similar vibe to Herbert Hoover.
Herbert Hoover's a fucking villain. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, no, totally, definitely. But like,
I was thinking
not, like, I don't want to say like FDR, but like, not
senator, because senator's more Washington, more like combination of county sheriff and like a county mayor. Know what I mean?
See, I want it higher than local, but lower than federal.
There still needs to be that local element, though.
Well, yeah, there is. That's why he's got the sheriff on his side.
Yeah, like the sheriff.
But the sheriff isn't our primary antagonist. I'm picturing that part of the climax is when our hero villain kills the villain hero.
I think the sheriff works better for that then, and then you bring in the level above, which could be...
What if it's someone who's, like, a state representative? Like, they spend most of their time in Capital City writing the laws that fuck over the working man, and then when they come to town, they hold their little town halls and nothing happens. It's not like a federal senator, but, like, state-level senate? Or rep, or whatever you would...
I like that. Because I'm thinking if we're going with the Robin Hood analogy, you got your Prince John, your...
Sheriff
of
Nottingham.
And then...
So whatever we name the place, not Tingham.
Nah, that's too English.
No, that's why we're not calling it... We can't call it Tingham. It's Nottingham.
I hate you.
We'll figure it out.
Knott's Farm.
I don't want it to be like that Robin Hood.
Yeah, I like the idea of a state rep.
And I also want his background to be either he was a local business leader or like a local banker and then moved into politics.
Yeah.
Because I think the intermeshing of capitalism and politics needs to be in play here. If we're going to make a character who is going to be in his own society known as a villain, but heroic to the working men watching the movie.
What if the state rep has eyes towards Washington?
Yeah.
Like, he is currently a state senator, but he wants to go to Washington. And that can just be a small part of, like, in the background, he's campaigning.
Well, if he's getting assassinated, yeah, he's while he's doing a town hall during his congressman seat.
Yeah.
Or Senate race or whatever.
That's also very, it
Taxi
could be
driver.
why he needs to quash this little rebellion thing that's happening.
Yeah, because he's trying to hype up how wonderful his current delegation? No. Current,
District?
Not district. Congregation's not the right word either. But you know what I mean.
Constituents?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, his current constituency.
Yeah.
He's trying to amplify the good there.
So, are we doing the Robin Hood, or are we doing the senator? Because if we're doing villain...
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think in-universe people can't really like what our guy does.
The thing is, I think they can up to the point of the assassination. I think that needs to be the souring point.
Yeah.
He had some good ideas, and then he turned to violence, and violence is bad.
Okay, so then the arc is our guy is a local boy. The family farm dries up, gets repossessed.
Some big corporate interest moved in an adjacent parcel of land that's fucking with the farm in some way. So I don't know if that's oil drilling and it's scaring the cows. It's
ruining the land.
A water bottling plant that's sucking up all the water out the aquifer. I know we just did fucking Nestle in Beowulf, but
that's too modern.
Yeah.
I think oil is the right way.
It's oil or a big corporate farm.
What if they're just putting in a factory?
Factory with smog.
Well, I'm not even thinking, because the factory also complicates things, because, hey, people are going to get work again, but it's
the thing where, like,
the
senator's bringing jobs.
Yeah. The push-pull.
Yeah, and that's...
But also,
like,
I mean...
we, the audience, understands why our guy gets to the point where he gets. And I think it's okay, especially if we do an assassination towards the end, that our audience doesn't agree with it either. Yeah. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Like...
I feel like it's one of those things where you can... There are reasons that you see on both sides.
Yeah, but I think even then we can, like... Maybe our guy begins with a letter writing campaign, and his actions escalate to, like, tampering with equipment or something like that, and then he has something planned for the thing, and even our audience assumes that it's just going to be some sort of big prank, like he's replaced the big poster of him with the big poster of him, but with a Hitler mustache, like shit like that. But then he just straight up shoots the guy, and it's like an over-escalation, and that's where, like, true villainy comes from.
Yeah.
Or if it's not an assassination, via gun, maybe it's an explosive device and innocent people are hurt or something like that. And our guy crosses the line.
So, what if it's not necessarily that the farm's not producing anymore? Like, they're one of the unicorns whose farm happens to still be producing, but it's getting taken by eminent domain. So that the senator's hands are a little dirty. Like, he doesn't... It's a very for the greater good thing.
I mean, I would say the senator's hands are dirty already. Like I think that's just kind of part of the texture of what's happening, is that the senator is, I don't know, maybe taking bribes from the corporations to get them better rates on the land deals, better tax rates, stuff like that.
Could even be as simple as some of his old buddies, some of his old connections from when he was business in the town.
Mm-hmm.
And he's further strengthened those connections now that he's moved into politics.
Yeah, like, it's his buddy's factory that moved in.
Yeah.
And we find out that he bought the land for pennies on the dollar what it was worth.
Yeah.
And that's part of, like, the early stages of, like, what if our guy's a journalist? Or maybe not a journalist by trade, but, like, sort of becomes one. Like, starts digging and starts getting journalists involved? I don't know.
I like the idea of him being a journalist, because it kind of echoes Superman a little.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the reason this is so personal for him is because the reason he came to Town City is because his family lost their land in something similar somewhere else.
Oh, no, I think he's from there.
Okay.
I think he's from there, and it's a small enough town that he'll, like, hear speeches and see names and know them. Like, he knows these people that are involved.
Okay.
He's got personal relationships with, like, maybe he had some interactions with the senator-elect, you know, back when he was a kid or something like that, and there's a bad taste in his mouth there from something he saw. Or he knows who used to own the land that factory's going in, and goes, he told me he'd never sell. Well, and he goes and talks to him, and, like, that's how he starts breaking stories. And then even the newspaper is trying to get him to stop writing about it because they're on the take.
Yeah.
So if we want to...
So I think if we're making this a villain origin story, but we're making it, you know, original, I think we have to begin at the ending and then go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Because we have to establish to the audience who doesn't know who this guy is that he's a villain, and then we're going to give his backstory. It's not like Wicked, a movie I've never seen, where it begins at the end of the movie everybody's seen.
What if we open with newsreel footage in a theater?
I like that.
Give it that, like, give him a nickname. The Arkansas assassin was captured today with a body count reaching 24 individuals over 3 separate attacks. This notorious bomber has elated the efforts of our dedicated police headed by Sheriff Nottingham. Like, you know, lean into it with that, and that we can introduce the sheriff. His most notorious act was killing Senator-elect James T. Senator.
So just to refine some ideas a little bit, I think his big bad thing that he does is kill the senator. And the way I'm picturing he does it is with a gun. And I'm specifically drawing from historical, specifically Lincoln and Roosevelt.
Mm-hmm.
Just run up to him, shoot him, run away. And because it's 19-something, early 19-something, he does get away for, like, a little while.
Mm-hmm.
So the newsreel is, at last the manhunt is over. The notorious assassin is, and, you know, show him being led away in chains. After a weeks-long manhunt, after the slaying of our beloved senator-elect, you know, newsreel footage of body lying in state.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I feel like it's important for him to have a body count more than one.
I think the turning point is definitely assassinating the senator. And I think at that point he's like, well, my life is already forfeit, let's go destroy some factories. And I don't think he personally kills anyone else, but I think that's part of his manhunt, a la Bonnie and Clyde, is that he keeps going places and wreaking havoc or wreaking destruction, and people get injured or die in that. Like, I don't necessarily want him to build a bomb, but maybe, like, he he interferes with
Burns down a
construction.
toilet paper warehouse.
Yes. Maybe he sets a fire on a site and some people end up dying. So there's a bunch of stuff that's attributed to him.
Or what if, and at risk of putting my personal politics into this a little bit, what if his body count after the senator is just the cops that are trying to catch him, and they keep accidentally dying in ways that are avoidable, but because they're cops and kind of stupid, and he still takes the heat for all that? A la First Blood.
Oh, I was thinking a la The Bride, where
That too.
The copycats are getting added into his...
I thought about copycats, but copycats still make him too heroic if it's a villain origin.
Yeah.
I was going to disagree with your proposal, Bill, until you specifically named First Blood.
Yeah.
Which is a movie I've never seen, but it completely changes the tone of what you were saying.
Yeah, just like he goes to, because he knows the land, he knows places to hide, and it's dangerous where, like it's dangerous terrain to navigate, and the cops from fucking big city that they bring down to help with the manhunt don't know what they're doing, and someone falls into a ravine, someone gets bit by something poisonous, one cop shoots another cop because they're all fucking terrified of anything that moves.
Yeah.
And then we can even do burning of factories.
But that's also something that the cops are doing.
That's the only thing that's copycats, is people are taking advantage of it to burn the factories.
Oh, I was thinking it's even the cops setting the fire because they think he's there.
Oh, ooh, that's better. That's even better.
Yeah, but they add the people that die in that fire, which could also be more cops, to the tally.
Yeah.
But all of this, is this all Act 3, like, falling action stuff?
Yeah, this feels like Act 3. Like, the end of Act 2 is the assassination, and then Act 3 is the chase and capture. And I'm thinking the capture has to have that final monologue, where he's like, I was just trying to make my hometown a better place. And whatever detective catches him, gives him a line of, history will remember you as a villain, or something like that. Like, history doesn't remember your intention, they only remember your action.
They don't remember your intention, they only remember your results.
Yeah.
Not even that. He just says history won't care.
Maybe he writes out his manifesto or something. And it's like, make sure this is published once I'm in. No one will care.
A la Wilkes Booth.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's how it ends.
So we've got our newsreel footage.
How does it... Right.
To open.
I like the idea of the newsreel, like, pausing on a desk, and then it fades into a real desk with our guy. But I feel like there would need to be some sort of pointed some sort of sentence that's like, what kind of man would come up with this harebrained scheme? What kind of man would wreak this violence? And then it, like, fades out.
Just, like, on his mugshot of what could make this young man from small town do such dastardly things, and then fade into same framing, but, like... Maybe he's getting his picture taken at the newspaper office for their something. Like, he's just got hired, and, like... So it's the same thing, but it's, like, the flashbulb and all that, but... You know what I mean?
Yes.
That kind of edit?
Yeah.
But we go back in time. I think that's an easy enough film language thing people understand. I guess we learn about
Maybe we can even just go from him having a beard to not.
Bruising, his hair goes from disheveled to... He's well-groomed in the past, and not in the newsreel.
I specifically want him to go from having a scraggly beard to not having a beard.
Yeah.
Because that, instead of saying, like, 3 months earlier, like, it takes time to grow a beard.
Yeah. His hair's shorter, like, noticeably shorter.
I wouldn't know.
All that stuff. Maybe he even looks, maybe he's even a little bit skinnier, or a little bit fatter.
Fatter.
Yeah, like
not fatter, but like more well fed.
Like he's borderline emaciated in the mugshot, but here he's like, he's well fed.
Chris Evans in the beginning of Captain America versus Chris Evans in the middle of Captain America.
Yeah, but not as extreme. But yeah.
I put in my Hinge profile that my body is a lot like Christian Bale's. The trick is I don't say what movie.
The Bride. Rotting.
Rude.
Bill, you had said that the specific transition was like a flashbulb.
Yeah.
So then we would be... I'm just piecing this together. We would be jumping back to a point where pictures are being taken. It would have to be something at least a little bit significant.
Yeah. So one thought I had was getting his picture taken by the newspaper photographer on the day of his hire for like personnel records. Something like that, but I'm not sure how early newspapers were doing photographs of staff like that.
Maybe it's not even...
The other thing it could be is college graduation.
You know, I've never seen a movie. Have you ever seen Citizen Kane?
A couple times.
Isn't there a thing where they take a picture of everybody who works at the newspaper?
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, it's like everybody. Here's the entire staff. Wishing you all a happy and healthy 1927.
Oh, it's a group photo. Okay. Yeah, no, that's better.
Yeah.
That works. But it's still framed of just him, and then the zoom out to reveal the group photo.
Yeah. Like framed as just like his face, and then after standing still for a moment, he turns, and as it zooms out, he's like shaking hands with the guy next to him, and it keeps zooming out, and we see a group having just finished taking a group photo.
Exactly. So if it's a holiday photo, that's actually pretty good, because then he can go, we can have someone at the paper just ask what he's going to do for his holiday, and he'll say, I'm going back home, spend time with family. So in that, we learn what he does, where he's going, and what's there for him. So goes back to the farm. I don't think we need to spend much time at the paper office. We just established that he's a journalist.
Yeah.
And did we decide, is it a factory or is it oil?
I think for their farm, it's oil, but then later he can also get involved in a factory.
Okay.
And I'm just thinking specifically the way that, like, oil poisons the ground.
Yeah. So he gets home and sees the derrick in the background, like behind the family house, and it was not. The actor makes it clear in his face that was not there before.
Yeah.
Pops in, says hi to mom and dad, siblings, cousins, nieces, nephews. How big's this family we talking? I almost prefer it if it's just mom and dad.
Yeah, I kind of like that it should just be mom and dad, because that you can use that as like more tragic later.
I think mom and dad, but they also have some, like, hired hands.
Yeah.
Again, to reference movies I've never seen, The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
They got those three guys. I don't think they were their kids.
Man, I've seen a lot of Wizard of Oz movies, and only that one has those guys.
The good one?
No comment. Yeah, they've got like a couple, like maybe like local teens just throwing bales around, and maybe like one guy who's been there a while, who's a cow, like he's the horse guy, and he's the cowboy, the wrangler.
I thought you said you didn't want to do fantasy. Now we're bringing in a centaur? You said a horse guy.
Motherfucker. As soon as you said I thought we weren't going to do fantasy, I knew exactly where you were going with that. You motherfucker.
I'm sorry, but now I can't get the idea of a cowboy centaur out of my head.
He's just in that one scene and we never see him again, and it's never addressed. They just happen to have a centaur. And at the end of the movie, people are like, oh, that was pretty good. Was that a fucking centaur? Yeah, I thought the centaur was going to be a bigger deal.
It's like in his Dark Materials stuff, when there's just a cowboy, and that's, I don't think, ever adequately explained.
The Texan?
Except that in this, the cowboy is a centaur.
And it's so weird.
Literal cowboy.
It's so weird that he's riding that horse, too.
Okay, lock in. Back to serious.
All right.
He comes back.
I think we just have a little conversation here explaining the oil came in, crops aren't going as much, cows don't even go to that side of the farm anymore to graze. It's hurting the farm.
I think there should be something about we're not going to be able to keep making the mortgage.
Yeah.
Because I think that can be his, like, final straw later. We lay the seeds that his family losing the farm is, like...
the thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe they're already even in that process of... not the whole farm, but selling, like, the west field.
Yeah.
Because that's the one closest to the oil. And this is where I want him to be from, this town, to come into play here. Is they name drop the guy who built the derrick. And then they name drop the realtor they're selling the land through. and then they name drop the guy who's buying the land. And Peter Parker recognizes all three of those names and knows they were friends in high school or whatever. And like, wait a minute, those guys like grew up together. They spent all their time together. They used to go shoot empty beer cans out behind the barn down by old lady Wick's place.
And I think
I wonder if there's something untoward about this.
I think there should also be like in the human interest side of it, there should also be like, yeah, you used to. She should introduce these guys as, oh yeah, we sold you to that. We sold the land to that nice Bo Dallas that you used to go to high school with, and yeah, he got married to Sherry, and now they have 2 kids, and the kids were playing around and they were fighting with the chicken. It's like, and you could see the wheels turning in his head, and he's like, wait a second, you said you sold to this guy, but he built the derrick, and wait a second.
You sold it to Bo Dallas, but you said Bray Wyatt built the derrick. Now I know Wyatt's his middle name. They're brothers, and. Mark, these are actual names of pro wrestlers we're using.
I panicked and just pulled that name. I was like, that sounds vaguely.
But no, like that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like she's just dropping names, and he's like, I know that guy. Yeah. Wait a minute, I know their relationship better than she does. They have a relationship.
Yeah.
The oil guy and the realtor go way back, and the guy who's buying the land through the realtor, who's obviously getting a cut, also goes way back with those guys.
And I think,
and that's when his investigative journalist mind starts turning, and he's like, I need to look into this.
We're doing Shell Game again.
A little bit.
Because I'm thinking, like, when he starts digging, he should see that the guy purchasing the land is maybe an assistant or a relation of an assistant to the senator.
Or could be.
Like, it has to tie back.
Or he finds out that the guy who's, like, appraised the land as well has a link to the senator.
Yeah.
And he doesn't make that link yet until he finds that out. Because I would say he has it independently appraised to make sure his parents aren't getting ripped off.
Yeah.
And maybe it comes up a little bit higher even.
Maybe they're even overpaying for the land. Not a lot, but a little bit.
I mean, if they're selling, I'm okay with them, like, paying the right amount. I would assume this is a piece of property that's been in the family for a while.
Fair.
So I think they're getting fair rates on the mortgage. But the sell, and maybe even, like, they drop a line that, oh, we were told not to let the cows pass a certain point because of the oil, because of seepage and all that. And maybe the point they were told is different, and the independent appraiser points out that they were misled in some way about the quality of the land or something like that. That doesn't even matter, because they're still going to build a fucking factory on it.
Yeah. But still.
Yeah.
He said it was perfectly safe within X amount of time, and it's like literally like the cartoon like smoke cloud is drifting.
The west wing of the house starts just sinking into the
yeah.
catches fire. So that's pretty much Act 1 then, is that investigation, yeah?
Yeah, is him going and discovering it. Is he a lone wolf, or does he have anybody on his side?
I think he has to be a lone wolf.
Yeah. I think by the end of Act 1, he has his story written, and he pitches it, and it gets buried. And it's when he tries to find out why it was buried. We gotta get to him start
not
doing
buried,
shit.
Cut,
Yeah.
The editor is...
But the thing is, I don't want, like, the second act to be him finding that out. He needs to find that out right away, so now he just starts taking action.
I was gonna say, can we do a false thing where it's like, climax, important, like, it feels like this is the moment where stuff's gonna start coming together, where he's pitching this story, and he does it in front of the whole newsroom, and it, like, everyone's really interested, and then the editor is just like, no, we don't have space for that, we have to run this. And this is like, what do you mean? I just gave you a massively important scandal, and you want to run recipes instead? Yeah, man, it's Christmas. And then he digs into the editor. Directly after that meeting, he digs into the editor and finds out, oh, he's married to the sister of.
Or maybe even somebody, like, in the newsroom. Like, it gets cut publicly, he's a little bit embarrassed, and someone else pulls him aside and is like, you linked a scandal to the senator. He and the senator were roommates in college. Like, the editor has a relationship with the senator.
Yeah.
That's why he cut it. Like, someone just knows.
Yeah, I think I kind of want this one to be like marriage. Like, he's married to the senator's sister.
Something like that, yeah, sure.
See, I was thinking maybe the senator is right now paying for election ads on every other page. He's keeping this paper afloat right now.
Okay, yeah.
I like that.
That's pretty
And
good.
now the dumb thought that I had that I don't think we should go with, but I want to say it out loud because I think it is very funny. He brings this like thick stack of documents and papers, slaps it on the editor's desk, tells everybody. The editor looks at it, throws it in the trash, and says, "God damn it, Jim, your job is to draw this comic strip. That is what we hired you for. You are not a journalist, and you never will be. Now go back to drawing puppy dogs."
Not even. Go back to rearranging the no, not the editorial. What's the classified section?
Now go back to drawing Ziggy, which is new in this time period.
So just to add a little bit of stakes for Peter Parker, which is what he's going to be called right now, until I come up with something better. He understands that the way the wind blows through town, because wind generally blows the same direction in the same location, one of two directions depending on time of day usually, and he understands that that's going to blow basically the smog from the warehouse, or the smoke, I guess, from the factory they're building on that new piece of land towards his parents' house, and he's trying to convince them to move, but they are refusing to move because it's their house. They, Grandpa built it with his bare hands. We lived here our whole lives. We're sibling marriage, I guess.
Sure.
We're not going to move. They assured us it'll be safe. All right, well, what if I get this story printed that says otherwise, that shows you exactly what's going on here? And they're like, well, I mean, if it's in the newspaper, I'll believe it, but just because you're telling, something like that. And when he can't get it printed, he knows he has to try and help his parents. And that's what he's trying to do. Because this is where he goes back to town and starts sabotaging the factory.
Yeah.
I had mentioned that I had an idea a minute ago, but I forget what we talked about instead. This isn't directed specifically because I want this to go full Wizard of Oz, but specifically I want there to be a Haruka. I want there to be not a little sister, but a little sister type who's maybe an orphan that the family took in, like Dorothy in the original Wizard of Oz. That just kind of raises the stakes and humanizes him a little more. If we have this little girl with huge eyes looking up, all sad and shit.
Maybe it's the centaur's daughter. They live on the property, and he tries to convince them to leave as well, and they can't, because this is my job. I work here.
Ooh.
We owe everything to Ma and Pa, work giver.
Yeah.
When they have the scene earlier, she already has a cough.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You've had that nasty cough for a couple weeks, and it really hasn't gotten better. Couple weeks, you say, and that's when the wheels in his brain start turning.
Next time I come back from the big city, I'll bring you some medicine. And so he says that when he's in town the first time. He goes back, pitches the story, fails, decides to go do something, goes to pick up medicine, and maybe that's where he also picks up bolt cutters, napalm. What do they sell at medicine stores that he can use to sabotage?
I mean, I feel like a farm would have bolt cutters.
You'd think, but I'm imagining a scene where he reaches for, or I guess it would be like one of them smaller, old timey grocery stores where you tell them what you want, and they grab it for you.
Uh-huh.
And he's looking around in the back, and he's like, "Yeah, give me some of that, some of that. I need some of that cough medicine you got there, and what's in that barrel? Gunpowder, huh? An idea sparks there. You know what I mean? I just don't know what that idea. Well, fuck you. I don't know what that idea is yet.
I like the idea of him lingering over the gunpowder for a second.
I think for legal purposes, we should gloss over this part so as to not incriminate ourselves in any particular ways. Such as, I think I remember reading about how, refined sugar can destroy, can cause concrete to not set right.
That's
so
crazy.
Just
that is actually not true. But yes.
It sure would be a shame if somebody were to look up what does make concrete not set right, and then we put that in this movie.
Yes.
I think it's something like sugar that, everybody has in their house,
Mhm.
and that our hero could reliably get a lot of. And I think that for, again, legal purposes, we should gloss over this part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pull a Fight Club.
You can, yeah, if he's gonna use sugar, he can maybe just pour it in the gasoline tanks of some industrial equipment.
Well, also, flour is notoriously flammable.
Yeah. I know, I rode the Flower Tower in Minneapolis.
You would.
That's a pull for nobody. That wasn't even for me. So yeah, so he does some sabotage over the course of a couple of weeks.
One dialogue line for... I'm sorry that if it seems like I'm kind of out of focus, it's partly because I am, and partly because I don't react quickly enough to things. When you had said earlier about, what if I can get this published in the newspaper, then will you believe me? I want the little girl specifically to say, Papa, aren't you always saying that if it's in the sun, it's so?
It's pretty good.
Now there's a pull for nobody. It's from a letter to, I think, the Baltimore Evening Sun from like the 1870s. The Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus story. My daddy always says if it's in the sun, it's so.
I appreciate you bringing up your childhood letters on this podcast, Mark.
Oh, I didn't write that one.
No, was it your
But
kid?
I remember when my papa read it to me.
Okay, so Act 2, we're gonna have some, like, the escalating action. So we've got Peter Parker fucking with the foundation of the factory, that delays it a little bit, fucks with some equipment, delays it a little bit, and he keeps doing things, like, he's never gonna win, but he can at least slow it down. And also
Plausibly
security
deniable.
increases around. And meanwhile, the senator is making his federal race.
Yeah.
He's going for that national Senate seat, and we see his rise through newspaper stuff. I think we should also see our guy's bylines go lower and lower.
Yeah.
So he's no longer even front page. He's writing obituaries and puff pieces.
I also think that we should see, I don't know when, but we definitely need to see little orphan girl. She's not even an orphan. We said her dad is there. But we should see her get, like, dazzled by the senator at some point.
Yes.
Yeah. Because if it's in the sun, it's so. And the sun endorses him.
Yeah. It's very, very, you've taken everything from me.
Mm-hmm. So if we established earlier that the local businessmen that are fucking his parents were all local and friends in high school, I think all of them, in addition to the sheriff, the senator, and the newspaper editor, were in, like, the same fraternity in college.
Yes.
Fraternity or, like, rowing team.
We should start seeing, in addition to his byline sinking lower, we should start seeing stories about the sabotage causing things. It could be like, oh, this work delayed indefinitely because of X, and then, like, oh, X amount of property damage at this time. Police look for.
It starts with new factory delayed. Foreman blames inefficient concrete. And then by the end of Act 2, it's investigations into possible saboteur.
Yes.
Not to juggle too many balls on one newspaper, but adding just one third element, articles about, puff pieces about the senator.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Senator kisses baby. So while our guys' bylines are going down and things of the investigation going up, just like Senator kisses baby, Senator at ribbon cutting, everybody loves Senator.
And then the last one of those we'd see is Senator to make speech at Littletown Assembly or something.
Yeah. And as part of that, he visits kids in the hospital, and an orphan girl is in the hospital.
Oh, yeah. Is that what sets him off then? During his speech, the senator says that he met a little girl in the hospital and maybe puts words in her mouth. Like, she says something, like, kind to him and is enamored with him, but is, like, a child and isn't eloquent.
Mr. Burns, your campaign has all the momentum of a runaway freight train.
Like, hey, you're the man from the newspaper. Daddy says you're gonna do great things in town. And then in the speech, he's like, and I met this little girl, and she was on her deathbed, and she said, Mr. Senator, please, save this land. Make sure to drill for oil, and build more factories, and give jobs to the people. And, like, takes her, illness
Yeah.
and
that he
morphs
caused.
it for his own gain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make sense, Mark?
Yes, and I'm just thinking this little girl told me to go to Washington and fight for the rights of everybody in this state because we're the number one problem is taxes. It's taxes what put that little girl in the hospital, and she told me to go to Washington and fight the taxes. Well, little girl, I'm gonna do exactly that.
What if the assassination is kind of a spur of the moment?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, he sees red for a second.
Yeah.
Maybe he is planning, like I said before, a big banner drop of, like, just the same banner he has of his face, like the big Kane banner from that movie I can't remember the name of. And, like, he paints one that says corrupt instead of Kane.
Yeah.
And intends to drop it at the end of his speech. So he's already backstage, like, ready to go.
Yeah. I don't want him to do the taxes thing. Because it's a little comic.
On the nose.
But I do want, because I want him to, like, invoke her and be like, and she held my hand and she told me that she loves this land. She wants to see it prosper. Blah, blah, blah. And then what I see is I see our guy, like, seeing red. And then he steps out and he's like, what's her name? What? The little girl. You quoted her. What's her name? And he can't tell. And the senator's obviously like, ha, and then he's like, fuck you.
Or he just makes a name up.
What's her name? What's her name? Excuse me? I'm Jim So-and-so with the Sun. What was the girl's name? Giving to everyone else like, oh, this is why this guy is asking. He's with the press.
Yeah.
It makes sense that he would be asking this question.
But he's also very clearly, like, steaming at the ears.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to make sure I quote her correctly. What was her name?
And I think he takes the pistol off of somebody nearby. It's not even his gun.
Yeah. Because I want to say, like, but that kind of ruins it. Because I'm thinking, like, I want him to approach later to see, like, as the senator's leaving after this. And he's like, you got her name wrong. What? Excuse me? Her name is X, not Y. Oh, well, whatever. No, not whatever.
Oh, so, like,
Click.
when he so he yelled, like, he heckles from the back even, like, what was her name? And he's like, oh, her name was Nancy Ellen Smith. And he's like, that is so fucking wrong. But, like, the senator is just, like, confident, and he carries right on with his speech.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, I like that he confronts him outside afterwards, hits him with that's not her name.
Yeah.
And then maybe the senator says something disparaging about the kid. Like, I don't give a fuck what her name was. She's gonna die in a couple weeks anyway. And that's just like, he sees red.
Yeah.
And he sees red, then he approaches, with violent intent. Like, listen, you bastard. And then the senator's guard interposes between our hero and the senator and just kind of like shows his gun. He's like, back off, pal. Our guy cold cocks the guard, takes the gun, gut shot to the senator. After the shot, there's a moment of quiet. He looks at the gun in his hands, stands there for a couple of seconds until we hear either a noise or footsteps, shocking him back into reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Drops the gun and runs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the sound cutting out after the gunshot. You just hear it, like, echoing in the night.
Yep.
And then the guard is shocked, and you see the senator look down, blood on his hands, look up, fall. He looks at the gun, looks back at the fallen senator, looks at the guard, looks around at a few, like, scattered bystanders, drops the gun and bolts. Or throws the gun and bolts.
Yeah, I like that.
And then from here we see where the propaganda wing changes things. So we saw what happened, but what the newspaper prints is something completely different.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they print that he was a fan of the senator's, maybe the incumbent senator, Or he yells a political slogan when he shoots him, and they make it seem like it was a political act.
Sic semper tyrannis.
Yeah, like something like that gets written in there. They make him seem like an extremist of some like political view.
Yeah.
When really he was just trying
They call him a Bolshevik.
Yeah. Something. This abolitionist came and killed our white power center. Newspaper prints that it was a political assassination. They immediately like remove all ties. Oh, would they know? Yeah, they would know who it is.
I mean, if earlier he introduced himself from the newspaper.
Yeah. The newspaper wouldn't print that though. Not this newspaper.
The Sun wouldn't.
The Sun wouldn't, exactly.
But the Post-Dispatch would.
I would say that the Sun would would print something along the lines of the true identity of the assailant is still not yet known. Unfounded rumors say it was a former employee of this organization, but he hasn't worked here for 6 months, and yeah. Like, just rewrite history, because you're the fucking news. That's what you can do.
But also, I mean, this is the past when there were empirically more newspapers.
There were more newspapers, but this is also, like, the era of yellow journalism.
Yeah, so, like, the Post-Dispatch definitely has it out for the Sun.
Yeah.
So while the Sun is like the identity of the assailant is currently unknown, and the Post-Dispatch is like, the Sun author slayed our beloved senator elect.
Sun author brutally murders.
The Post-Dispatch says Sun employee kills political candidate. They don't endorse the senator. Incumbent to win in landslide. Like,
incumbent now running unopposed to win in landslide.
Yeah. It's like, get those little digs in there. Add some texture to that. I like that. So now our boy's on the run. He first hides out in the incomplete factory, and the police accidentally burn it down because the electric isn't installed yet, so they have to come in with torches at night to try and find him, and they accidentally burn the place down.
I think I want them to I think that the factory has to come later, and I want it to be intentional, because they are smoking him out. Does that make sense?
Okay, so the first thing he does is he runs and tries to hide.
In the factory.
Well, if we want to have the last bit at the factory.
Oh, that's true.
Because I think it should end in the factory next to his parents' farm, and he gets caught at his parents' house.
Yeah.
So he tries to go. Maybe there's caves nearby. Is this part of the country where there'd be cave systems or a river?
I think first the train. He goes. I mean, because I don't think we'd ever explained how he goes from Big Town to his parents' farm. I think he does that by train.
The rally where it's happening is at his parents' town. It's at his hometown.
Oh, okay. See, I thought that the rally was in Big Town.
No.
Because then we can have him take.
He goes back to small town to cover the rally, and also lightly sabotage it before he kills the guy.
I think he could still get on the train and go to Big Town, and then realize, shit, they're gonna find me, because that's where they're gonna look.
Well, the reason I brought up the train is that while he's on the train, that's the first encounter with the police chasing him, and throwing one of the police in a scuffle, throwing him off the train, is how the first cop dies.
So I'm thinking it's nighttime when the rally's happening. So he goes to the train yard to hide out until morning, hoping to ride a train back up to Big City and get out of there. And as the train he's on starts pulling out is when the Fuzz shows up and starts searching trains. And they spot him, so he hops out and tries to dodge them, and he's doing the running around train cars in the train yard thing.
Yeah.
And a cop tries to follow him and misjudges some distance and gets clipped by a train.
Yeah.
See, what I was thinking was he does that thing with like dark glasses, hat pulled down, collar pulled up, one ticket to Littletown, please. And, the cops follow him onto the train. And it's still like overnight. They confront him as the train is going over like a trestle bridge, and it's just one cop who confronts him in between cars as he's trying to, cautiously walk away from them. And they get into a scuffle, and he shoves the cop against the railing. The cop goes over and falls down to the rushing river below.
That's real close to the bride.
Yeah.
Which, again, I've never seen.
And also, if he's already in Little Town. Like, after that, what prompts him to get off the train then, if he's trying to get... Like, I'm just confused as to where he's going there. Like, back to Big Town, or...
So I guess I want to push back again against the rally being in Little Town.
Do you think that should be in the city?
I do.
Okay.
And I also think that the family had to bring the girl to the city because that's where the hospital is.
Okay. Okay, no, yeah, all right. You're right. I'm okay with that.
And so it's trying to get out of the city that he gets on the train.
That would also explain why he's in the room when the senator meets the girl. Because he's basically her caretaker in the city. Because the rest of the adults still have to tend at the farm. And they can only come up once or twice a week, if that, to visit her while she's in the hospital. So he's their liaison there. Okay. Yeah. It's clicking. So then, yeah, I don't mind him getting on the train at the station. Police come on. Maybe not off a bridge, but yeah, some sort of scuffle ends up with the cop accidentally getting murked.
And it needs to be accidental.
Yeah.
He can't, like, intentionally kill the cop.
Yeah.
Not yet. He is going to intentionally kill cops later.
Does he have to? I don't think he has to.
I mean, self-defense is still intent.
That's fair.
Yeah, okay. I think that, like, from our perspective, he shouldn't mean to kill anybody, except the senator.
Like, he's trying to... He goes to, like, the outside of the train to try and, like, find a safe place to jump off, and the cop tries to follow and slips and falls off the train. Something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I think he still causes the deaths, but he should never, like, mean to kill anybody.
Yeah, I'm saying this
like,
first one is, like, the cop slips and falls.
And I'm saying he doesn't slip and fall. Our guy pushes him, but I only meant to push him back in and lock the door. I didn't mean to push him against the railing.
I don't know if that's going to read unless he literally says that to someone later.
Yeah. I think something similar later. I think the first one... Because at this point, I would say he's still trying to... He still thinks he's a good guy. And he's trying not to hurt the police because he still respects the police. Because, you know, they didn't know any better in the 30s. White people didn't know any better in the 30s. But yeah, I think... Because there needs to be, like, a second thing before the factory. And maybe he gets to small town on the train, and there's cops waiting for him at the station. And it's in the escape there that maybe he pushes a cop out of the way on the platform into the path of a train. Or into the path of a horse and buggy, and dude gets trampled.
Yeah, I think we already have one death
in
or around a train. I do like the idea of it being a different one, so I think maybe even a car, and he gets run over.
And the car just happens to be driven by, like, one of the rich fucks we talked about earlier.
Because I don't think our guy should start intentionally killing people until he realizes that he's getting blamed for all of these deaths anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, there's no point in holding back because they're gonna say I did it anyway.
I think it might even happen fast enough that he doesn't know these deaths are going to be attributed to him in that way. This happens over, like, 36 hours.
Here's a thought that I had started kind of gumming a little while ago, and now it's coalescing into something. Ma is in Big Town with little sister, with the orphan girl. Pa stayed home to mind the farm. And it's from Pa that he hears this. That you know, son, you're a killer. No, I'm not, Pa. Well, that's what the papers are saying. And if it's in the Sun, it's so. And he can show him, like, late dispatch, killer on the run, already killed.
Senatorial assassin claims 2 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can make this a whole scene of, that's not what happened.
Like, are you going to trust the paper or your own son? And the dad can't answer.
Because up until now, you were the paper.
Exactly. And maybe the police show up at the farm. He blames dad for calling them. And he say, I would never do that to you, son, but you better go. And
I think dad stalls to let him get away.
Yeah, dad stalls to let him get as far as the factory.
Yeah.
And then maybe in the factory he knocks over some, like... Because I still don't think the factory is complete at this point.
No, it's not.
He knocks over some, like, Attitude Era backstage pipes. And it makes a lot of noise in the factory, and that's what tips off the cops. And then they surround it and burn it down to smoke him out.
Yeah.
And then, like we said earlier, when he gets arrested, he can say, like, I was just trying to make the air better for my family or something.
To escape the burning factory, he jumps out of a second story window and hurts his leg in the process, and that's when they finally catch him.
Yeah. And then, can you tell them why I did it? No one will care. That bit of dialogue. And then back to the newsreel. I think close it with the newsreel.
Yeah.
A newsreel of what?
Finish the newsreel from the beginning, because we got to his mugshot, and then just the end. He is not even sentenced. Like, he's being held without bail.
Sentencing expected.
The trial jury selection for the trial begins on whatever date. Although finding a jury that doesn't already believe him guilty will be impossible. Like, drop a line like that or something in there to make it clear that he's already been tried in the public eye and is guilty.
Yeah. I think there should also be something about the senator's funeral arrangements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The incumbent wins in landslide, sends condolences to the senator's wife, and decides to enact some of the senator's policies, including the ones that fuck over the town.
Yep.
Jury selection begins shortly in the trial of what's sure to be the trial of the century. Meanwhile, senator-elect incumbent pays respects to his late opponent and vows to carry on his legacy through legislation.
And vows to bring even more jobs to Tiny Town through the Senator Act, named after his fallen opponent.
Okay, so do we need anything else then? I mean, specifically in terms of, story structure, scenes that we need to pace out.
It's simple, but I'm okay with that, because I think that's kind of the point, is that it's that origin story of a villain.
Yeah.
I would like to name our main character. I know we tend not to do that too often.
Well, now that we're at the end, and I have less chance to forget it.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be...
Jom Toad.
I was gonna say, it should be a more, either biblical or old school name. Like Tom. Unfortunately, I think William's on the list.
Yeah.
Ideally, I kind of want a name like William where you can pull multiple nicknames out of it, so he's a different guy to different people, so we can play with the identity that way.
What about, Michael?
Michael, Mike,
Mikey. When he's taking care of the girl at the beginning, he's Saint Michael.
Yeah.
And the newspapers call him Murderous Mike.
Yeah.
Mick the Dick. Oh no, somebody calls him Mick the Dick when he's doing his investigative journalism in the first act.
Yes. Yeah, I like
yes.
Michael.
Okay. I wanted to at least get that name in there. Stretch those legs a little bit.
Also, in my personal experience, every man named Michael that I've met is an asshole, so...
I had a buddy named Mike growing up. He was a cool guy.
He's the real one. Sorry.
Yeah. He's alright. He's alright. Guess now we gotta cast this thing, don't we?
We do. And I've got a couple of names that I'm just gonna shout out.
Okay.
Because I assume you're all we're gonna look these up on IMDb.
Yeah.
And you'll easily guess why I'm shouting these ones out, or why they're on my mind recently. First off, Sam Claflin. Sam Claflin.
I know him from Hunger Games.
I've never seen Hunger Games.
I literally just watched it last night. He's a Norwich City fan.
He's in Finnick. He plays Finnick. He's in Catching Fire.
Yeah. As Michael? Or as the senator?
I'm thinking maybe senator. The other name that I want to shout out, because this is a kind of a unique face shape. Blake Ritson. Ritson. Ritson.
Oh yeah, he's got an interesting face.
Right? I'm not sure, where he fits, but I know he's in here somewhere with that face.
What if he's the dad?
Oh, I was going to say, I like him for the editor.
That was the other thing I was going to say.
I was thinking either editor or dad.
Okay, hear me out. I know it's wild out of nowhere, but Willem Dafoe as dad.
Does us calling that character Peter Parker through half of that podcast have anything to do with it?
Possibly.
I see it, though.
But I'm just
especially thinking, in, was it The Lighthouse he did?
Yes.
Yeah.
If we make Blake Ritson our Michael, with Willem Dafoe as his dad.
I was going to suggest Kit Harington for our Michael.
Okay, let me look up Kit Harington, but in the meantime, just look at Blake Ritson next to Willem Dafoe.
I don't think his
and
photo...
maybe only look at their faces.
You raise a good point. The only thing is Blake Ritson is already like almost in his 50s.
Yeah, he's...
I kind of want somebody younger for Michael.
He does... He's giving Bill in college when he was emaciated and didn't sleep.
Wow. Damn, dude. That's mean. And accurate.
Who, Blake Ritson?
Yeah.
So, Cody, you're saying Game of Thrones guy for Michael.
Yes.
Willem Dafoe is his dad.
Yes.
Okay. Ritson as editor. Claflin as senator. Who's Ma? Character actress Margot Martindale?
Frances McDormand.
Oh, Frances McDormand is good.
Yes. I always need to look these people up before
She's got such a fucking Midwest face.
And I know we don't cast children, but I want a young Drew Barrymore type.
Yeah.
I want E.T. Drew Barrymore for Angel Child.
Centaur. That...
Who played Murtaugh in the terrible Aragon movie?
Is Tim Blake Nelson too old to be the Centaur?
Nah. I like that energy and vibe. And he's from Oklahoma.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, I see him in stuff like Oh Brother and Buster Scruggs.
Garrett Hedlund was who you were thinking of, Cody.
Yes, it was. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What were you thinking of for Garrett Hedlund?
The Centaur?
Yeah. But no, I like what Bill suggested better.
This guy could be one of our trio of businessmen, local businessmen.
Yeah. So I'm thinking Garrett Hedlund was in Inside Llewyn Davis as well.
Oh shit, was he?
Yeah. So he can pull that, like, dirty...
That's 3 different Coen Brothers actors we've pulled for this. I'm okay with it.
I mean,
fuck it. They made fucking True Grit. No.
Pull,
Did they? Was that Coen's? The remake? Fuck,
who's, Hudsucker Proxy and Shawshank?
Oh.
Is his name also Tim?
Is it?
Here's another name I can throw out, see if we can fit him in somewhere. Mikkel Bo Folskar.
Are you just pulling from...
Tim Robbins is what you're thinking of, Cody.
Yes, I was thinking Tim Robbins as incumbent senator.
Ooh, yeah.
Are you just pulling from the Count of Monte Cristo miniseries, Mark?
Yes, I am. I've been watching it recently. I like it a lot.
Trying to figure out what you were pulling from.
I was like, what a weird pull. I'm surprised you didn't suggest fucking Jeremy Irons.
Well, that's because I don't know who that is.
I feel like our theme is weathered white guys.
Yeah.
Which works.
Jeremy Irons is Abe Faria.
Oh no, I know who Abe Faria is. I don't know who Jeremy Irons is.
Scar. What was the name you said? Mikkel Folsgaard? He could be our third,
Yeah, he could be the third business guy.
Third businessman.
Yeah. That's a punchable face.
It's not really anything to stunt cast either.
I mean, unless we want a newsreel voice, and then we just do Stanley Tucci.
Yep. I'm down.
I was actually going to say Seth MacFarlane for the newsreel voice.
He does have a great voice.
He does, like, old-timey really well.
Yeah.
As long as we don't let him write any of it.
Nope. If he improvises, he's fired and he forfeits
don't even
his salary.
improv a line.
Exactly. He improvises, he's fired and forfeits his salary.
Yep. I'm down.
So then I guess the only things left are a title and a poster. And I think the poster is just his wanted poster.
I think one poster is his wanted poster, and the other one is a poster of the senator that's been defaced.
And I think it's a double-sided poster.
Yeah.
So movie theaters choose which they display.
Yeah. Or they have to buy 2.
I feel like it's too close to Con Guy, but Common Man.
Dust Bowl Dance.
No.
Could you tell towards the beginning I was trying to go that way?
I pulled up the Dust Bowl Dance lyrics.
I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
a Mumford and Sons song about a kid shooting a banker for trying to take his parents' farm.
Yeah.
Mumford & Sons have other songs?
Believe it or not.
I thought they just had that one where they stomp and then clap and then yell, hey.
See, if you don't put that CD in and switch to track 7, you actually hear different songs. I'm pretty sure that's track 7, actually.
Dust Bowl?
No, Low Lion Man.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah. Written in the sun.
What about just In the Sun?
The preferred way of doing things.
Is that a quote from something?
So I have this when I really, really am up a creek and don't know what to name something, I'll go to WikiQuote and then hit random and take the last 5 words.
Huh.
You were correct, by the way. Little Lion Man is 7. I feel like we can play with, like, the word truth or true.
This is hard.
I feel like this is one that we would pull from an actual quote. Murder, he wrote. Except
That's a
it's
spoiler.
Except it's murder, comma, hero.
No.
Will set you free.
The truth will set you free.
Just will set you free. Not
right,
including
I
the
was
truth.
saying pulling from that quote.
From David Foster Wallace.
I pulled up some quotes and did the last 5 thing, and the details are all false.
That's too on
It's
the nose.
really on the nose. I just thought it was funny. I think there's something within the sun. Because we can even add depth to the title by including some scenes of him enjoying the sunshine in small town. And then the smog of a factory in big city blocking out the sun. Use some visual imagery there to sell it. And then the newspaper's called The Sun.
Want to just call it In the Sun?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Because it's the double entendre of the country and
it's like a common theme. Like, the newspaper itself is like, it's not the point of it, but it's a common tool used by almost every character to advance their means.
yeah.
And I think then the last one, when does this one come out?
Well, it takes place at Christmas, so it's a Christmas movie, right?
No. Not everything's a Christmas movie.
And it takes place over the course of close to a year, I think. Because Election Day is November, it starts at Christmas the year prior. I still think fall.
Okay, so this has been In the Sun, and you can see it in theaters this fall. This has been The Treatment, a podcast about stories, and we've been your hosts, Mark Lucas,
Billy Beck.
And Cody Beck.
and we'll see you at the movies.